Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we will build a fully functional online shopping website with Stripe payment integration using Payload CMS as our backend, Next.js as the front end, and MongoDB as our database. We will explore how Payload CMS e-commerce template helps to manage, build, and deploy the fully functional websites into the cloud. So this is going to be an interesting video. Let me show you the demo that we are going to build in this video. Alright, so this is the website that we are going to build. You can see that the website is already deployed on the cloud. So we have the shoppingcart.payloadcms.app, and this is the homepage of our app where we display the video banner. We have the products based on the categories. Then we have the smartphones, we have the apparel, and you will see that we have the pagination as well. So this all can be controlled by the admin panel. So right now we display only 3 products, but this it has a 4 products. So we have a pagination here. So if we click on the next, we see the next products. All right, now let's go and explore some more features. So we have a create account. So I'm going to click on the create account, and now we can create an account. So let's create an account as dipesh@gmail.com. I'm going to give a password, confirm password, and then I'm going to click on create account. All right, so now my account is created. I can also update the information in the account, so I can have the page here. I'm going to click on update, and you will see that the account is updated. It also gives us the purchase products information, orders information, and a logout button. Now let's go and click on the shop and let's do some shopping. So here you will see that this is the all products page where we display all the products, and we have a pagination in the end. So what I will do is let's have some product in our cart. So I'm going to go here and let's add this iPhone. So I'm going to click on the add to cart. So now you will see that the product is added in the cart. I can also click on a product and go to a product page. So this is the product page where you will see that product is already in the cart and some information about this product. You will also see that we have a cart here, and now it's 1. So I'm going to click on this cart, and here you can specify the quantity, amount, and then you have a checkout page. So I'm going to click on the checkout. All right, now this is the checkout page where we have already integrated with the Stripe payment gateway. And here you will see that we are just using the developer account. So that's why we use the test card for testing this. So let's add this test card number. So I'm going to have this 42424242. All right, I have the card number. I'm going to have the expiration. So let's have the expiration. Let's add some random CVC number and the country. And then I'm going to click on this checkout. And you will see that once the payment is done, you will see that thank you for your order. And now we can view all our orders. So if I click on view order, then you will see that this is the order which is being placed, the order ID, the payment intent, order on, and the amount. And we can also see all orders, which is going to show us all the orders in our account. So that is the fully functional website. It also offers the theme, so we can just switch to the light theme, and you will see that now we are on the light theme. And if I go on the home page, then you will see that everything is in the white theme. This is the project that we are going to build, and this is going to be a very fun project. So if this sounds interesting, then stick around. Also, don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. So let's get started. Alright guys, so to start building this application, what we have to do is first let's go to the Payload CMS, and then we have to create an account here. So you can just create your account and it's free. So I'm going to click on the login, and this is going to give me a login screen where I'm going to log in into my account. So let's have a login here. I'm going to give the password. So this is the dashboard that you will see. Now, if I want to create a new project, what I will do is I'm going to click on the new project, but you can see that I already have a project which is the shopping cart, and this project is already deployed, and you can see that this is how the application looks like. So now let's go and let's create a new project. So I'm going to click on the new, and you can choose a pre-built template of the Payload CMS. So you can have a blank CMS where you will only get the admin panel. You can have a website, or you can have a full e-commerce website where the backend will be on the Payload CMS and the front end will be the Next.js 13 application. So it is also connected with the Stripe, and it's directly ready to sell application. We're going to build it. So I'm going to click on this icon plus. All right, and this will have a create new from the template. So I'm going to have selected a template as e-commerce. This is my GitHub account. I will name the repository as simple e-commerce, and then I'm going to keep this as a private Git repository because I already have a public one. So if you go to the github.com And if we go to this Next.js payload CMS ecom app, then this is the code that is running on this application. All right, so let's go back here. I'm going to just give it as e-commerce. I'm going to keep it as private, and then I'm going to click on the clone template. And this is going to clone the template to my GitHub repository. So it's going to take some time. All right, so now you can see that the template is cloned successfully and you are now being redirected. So now if we go back here and if we want to see our template, so here if I want to search it, I'm going to click on the repository. So this is the template that we have just cloned. Now if we go back here, then the next thing what we need to do is we need to configure our project. So we are going to choose the standard plan. It is a 30 days free plan, so you don't need to pay anything. You will choose this only if you want to deploy the application on the Payload cloud. If you want to do it on the local and then deploy it on Vercel or any other hosting platform, then you don't need to pay anything and everything is completely free. You can also see the GitHub link here. So if I click on the GitHub link, then this is the Payload CMS GitHub link, and here you can see that it's 12k stars. So it's a very popular CMS which can be used to build the applications. All right, so now let's go back here. I'm going to select the standard plan, which is a free plan. I'm going to have the region as default US, project name is e-commerce, slug is e-commerce, template, everything will be same. I'm not going to change anything, and this is the domain it is going to use. So I'm going to keep the domain as it is. I'm going to click on agree, and then I'm going to have the start free trial. All right, so now you will see that the application is started deploying on the cloud. So we will just have to wait for some time so that it will set up the project and deploy the application on the cloud. Here now you will see that it's deploying the database connection as well. So it's going to create a connection string for the MongoDB, and then it's going to automatically set it in the configuration. All right, now you will see the status is changed. Now it's deploying your project, and it's going to take 5 to 10 minutes because it's deploying the first time. And here you can also see the build logs. So it is all the logs that are being executed while deploying this application. So I will just scroll up again, and once the build logs are done, you will see that the deploy log tab will get enabled and we will have the deployment logs. So now you can see that our build log is complete. So if we go and if we scroll down, then you will see that the build is complete. And now what it's going to do is it's going to deploy the application. So you will see that we have a new tab, which is the deploy logs. And here you will see that it is setting some payload config path, and then it's connecting to the MongoDB server, and then starting the payload. We have, this is the admin URL, and this one is the application URL. All right, so what I will do is I'm going to copy this. All right, and you will also see that this is the URL and the deployment status is online. So we can just click here. So I'm going to click here, and you will see that this is the Payload CMS template which we see. Now here what we need to do is if we go to the admin, so let's go to the admin, then we need to create the first user. So this is the first user we need to create for this application. But if we go back here and if we go to the database, then you will see that we have this MongoDB connection string. So this is the MongoDB database. So if we want to use it on the local, then we just have to use this MongoDB database so that our database on the local and on the deployed site is the same. Then if we go to the logs, we will see the runtime logs of the application. If we go to settings, then here what we will see is this is our application information, our project name, slug, and everything, some of the commands here. All right, this is the repository, and which branch we want to deploy, we can just select it from here. So currently we only have a single branch, which is the main branch. All right, now while doing the deployment, if we want to add the config variables or environment variables, we can just click on this environment variable, and here we will see that all the environment variables are set automatically because those environment variables are fetched from the application code. If we go to domain, we can also link a custom domain if you have. I don't need this. Then if we go to the plan, here we can actually delete our project. So you can delete the project here. Now, if we go to the file storage, then you will see that it is using the Cognito pool. So Payload Cloud is using AWS Cognito, and it is uploading all our media files to the S3 bucket. So this is the information if we want to connect it directly from the AWS console. All right, we will not need this. Now what we are going to do is let's go and let's explore the app first. All right, so we will not do anything on the deployed website. We are just going to take it on the local machine, and then we are going to run the application on the local and explore this application. So what I will do is I will go to my repository. I'm just going to clone this repository on my local. So let's open the Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to open the Visual Studio Code. All right, and here in the Visual Studio Code, what I will do is I'm simply going to first have the terminal. So I'm going to click on the new terminal, and here we can just do I'm just going to go to the directory, documents, codes, payload new. All right, and here I'm going to clone it. So I'm going to have the git clone and I'm going to hit enter. So this is going to clone my repository on the local machine. All right, now let's open this. So I'm going to open the folder. All right, so this is our application code and you will see that now we have opened it on the Visual Studio Code. Now let's explore this code. So what actually we get when we clone the payload CMS e-commerce template. So we're going to start with this yarn log. It's a simple yarn file. Then we have this ts config server, and this ts server config JSON is for the server.js, and then these two paths. All right, then we have a simple project ts config for all the compiler information and everything. It's a standard config. Then if we go to the package JSON, here you will see that we have a lot of scripts here to run it on the dev, to run it with the Stripe webhook, to seed the application, and all those information. We also have the dependencies installed here. A lot of dependencies are coming from the payload itself. A lot of dependencies are coming from the payload CMS itself, and then we have the Stripe for the Stripe integration. We also have the .env express, and we are using the Next.js 13 version for our front-end website. All right, then we have the react dom, react hook form, and Stripe, and these are some of the dev dependencies. Now we can configure the Next.js config using this Next.js config JSON, so where we do some configurations for our domains and everything. Then we also have the Docker support, so we have a Docker file and Docker compose. We are not going to use it. Then if we go, then we will see that we have the .env example, and here you will see that we have all the environment variables which we actually saw on the payload cloud. So what we will do is, first we are going to rename this file. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to rename, and I'm going to change it to .env. So let's have the .env. All right, and now what we need to do is we need to have the MongoDB URI. We can go to database and we can click on this. All right, this is our connection string, so I'm going to copy. Now we will also need to have this the server URL is localhost 3000. We will need to have the Stripe secret key in order to have an integration with the Stripe. Then we have the payload public Stripe. So these are some additional environment variables. We don't need to touch anything. And we will also need the Stripe publishable key. This is the website. So I'm going to click on it, and you need to create your own account. So you can create your account free. So I already have an account. So what I will do is I'm going to click on the dashboard, and this is going to log me in. So I'm going to go to the developers because we are going to use it in a test mode. So let's go to the developers, and here you will see that if we go to the API keys, so I'm going to click on the API key. Let me zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to click on the API key, and here you will see that we have the publishable key and the secret keys. This application first. So what I will do is I'm going to go to the terminal. All right, and inside the terminal what I will do is I'm going to have the I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so we have seen that all the dependencies are installed, but it says that the command start not found. So let's go to the package JSON and let's see. So if we go scroll up, then we see it's a dev. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the yarn run dev. All right, so this is going to start my local server, and now you will see that here first it logs that connected to the MongoDB server successfully. So in order to make this template run, we will always need to have all the environment variables here. Otherwise we are going to get some errors and warnings in the console, and the application also might not start. So you will see that starting payload, and then we have the payload admin URL, then it's starting the Next.js application, then we have the Next.js app URL. See that this is the create first user. So we need to first create the admin user, and we are doing everything is on the local, but when we create a user, this user will go to the MongoDB database, which is the same connection string for our deployed application and our local application. So let's create the user. So I will have the email address dipesh@gmail.com. I'm going to have the password name as Dipesh, and here you will see that for the roles we have two roles, admin or a customer. So I'm going to create an admin user. So let's select the admin. For purchases we don't need to do anything, no Stripe customer, then we just click on the create, and now you see that the account is created. And what we can see here that this is the dashboard for our admin panel. So for here we have different collections. We create the pages, we create the products, orders, media, categories, and users. So right now we created a single user. So if we click on the user, then you will see that this is the user that we have created. Now if we go back on the dashboard, then you will see that the first thing what it says that you can seed your database with some dummy products, and this will help us to see those products on our website. So what we will do is, first we are going to seed the database. So I'm going to click on seed your database, and it is going to create some dummy products. So it's just going to take few seconds, and you will see that now it's done. So the seeding is done, and now let's go to the website. So I'm going to click here, and here you will see that now we have this Payload e-commerce store, we have this button, then we also have this image. And then if we go on the shop, then here you will see that we have all the products listed. So these are the 3 products that has been created when we seeded our database. All right, so now let's go back to our admin panel. So I'm going to click on the dashboard, and it will take me to the admin panel. Now all this admin panel can be customized with the help of the code that we have. So if we go back to our Visual Studio Code, then let's go and let's see the source folder. So in the source folder, we have 2 folders. One is the application, which is the customer facing application. The other one is the payload cloud. So this payload cloud is actually all the admin stuff that we see here, all the pages, products, orders, all the globals and everything. So let's understand them one by one. So if we go to the server.js, so this server.js, here you will see that when we click on the seed the database, it actually runs the seed database script and adds the dummy data into our MongoDB database. And here we create the Express app, which is going to run our local server. So on the local server, we run it as payload admin, and we run it as the Next.js application for different routes. All right, so this is the server.js. Now if we go to this payload cloud, then in the payload cloud, the most important files are the payload config and the payload types. So you create types for each of the collection and the global. So if we go here, then here you will see that if we want to have a cart item, then we have the cart item type. So this is the payload config, and for the config what we have is, if we go here for the config, we have 2 things. We have the collections and we have the globals. So if we go here, then you will see that we have an interface of a config, and this config has 2 things. One is the collection and other one is the globals. So the collection object will contain all the pages, products, orders, media, categories and users. So let's say if I want to create a new, which is something called post, and this post will be of type post. Now we need to create this post interface. So if I click on this user, then here you will see that this is the user interface. Now let's create a simple post interface. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to have the export interface post. All right, and for the post, what we will do is we are going to have a ID. So this is going to be a string, or we can just do a simple copy of the information which we have for the users. So for the user, we are going to have these 2, all right, ID and the name. So I'm going to go here and I will have a simple ID name. All right, and for the post, we will also need to have a very similar what we have in our products. So if we go and check for the products, so let me scroll up and let's go for the products. All right, so in the product we have the published date, so I'm going to copy the published date, then the Stripe product ID and everything, we don't want it. So let's go to the post back, and here what I will do is I'm going to simply have the published date. All right, so now we have created an interface for the post. Now if we want to use that, what we can do is we can have this config here. All right, so if we scroll up, we have this config. Now we need to use this interface into our payload config.js. So in this payload config, what we will see that we are just importing all the collections that we have created. So all these are collections. If you go and see in the collections folder, then you will have all these collections. We can also create a post collection here, but we are not going to do this. And then we will also have all the globals. So all the header, footer and everything stuff. And we have everything in the build config. So from the payload config, all right, so we import this build config, and then we create this build config here. So we have this build config where we have the admin, user, components. We can just comment this out because we don't need them. And you can just read here that feel free to delete this anytime, simply remove the line. And these are some of the data that we see on the first time. I'm going to save it. And now if I refresh it, then you will see that we don't have those information. And here we see that we have the collections. So we can also add our post collections. All right, now what we need to do is we need to have this post collection. So if we go here, and we will just remove this. All right, and then just create a new collection as post. So I'm going to have this as post, and let's change this to post. So, and let's have it. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to have a new folder, I'm going to have the posts, and inside that what we can do is we can simply have a index.tsx file. All right, and here what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it in the index.ts of the post just for the reference. And then let's change this media to post, and we are also going to change the slug to post. I don't need anything for the uploads, so I'm going to just remove them. All right, let's remove the path as well, and we will just keep this field as it is. All right, I'm going to save it. So now what we will do is for the name field, we are going to change it as the title, and let's have the title here, and then I'm going to keep it as it is. Now we are just going to do the export default for this post. So let's have the export default post. Now if we go to the payload config, so we see that we have an error. Okay, so let's go back here. If we go to the post, then let's remove this. All right, I'm going to save it. Now if we go here, then I think this should be fine. So we have some linting issues which we can resolve it later on. But now what we need to do is we have this post here, and now we need to use this post in our collections. So if we go to the collections, then here we can see that we have already added the post in the collections. Now I'm going to save it, and now let's give a try. So I'm going to refresh my page, and if I go to the users, and now we can also see that we have the post collection. If I click on this create new post, then we will have the title, and I'm going to give the title as this is my first post. All right, so this is how it's going to look, all the collections. So here we have, now if we go to the dashboard, then we have this new collection. Now similar way you can also create the new globals. So you can create a new footer or new header. So if we go back to our application, then if we go to the globals, so let me go to the globals. So I'm going to go to the globals, and here you will see that we have the footer, we have the header. So we can just create more globals as we want. So what I will do is I'm just going to revert all this. We don't want it, so I'm going to remove this post from here. All right, and I will also remove the post from here, and let's delete the post from here as well. This was just for the reference, so I'm going to delete it from here as well. So I'm going to delete, move to trash, and then we will just delete it from the types. So if I go here, I'm going to remove this. So let's go here, let's remove this. Next thing what I want to show you is that we have some blocks, and these blocks are the type. So whenever we create some type, like we need to have a text field or anything, we have a different types here. So we have this hero.ts, and these hero.ts have three types: low impact, high impact, and medium impact, and we also have a none as value. So if we go back here, and if we go to pages, so in this pages, if we want to go to any of the page, so let's go to the home page, and in the home page you will see that we have this hero with different types here. So we have the none, high impact, and if we want to add an additional one, then we can also add it here. And I will just going to copy this, and let me add it here. Now I'm going to change this to new impact, and the value as new impact. So I'm going to save it, and now let's give a try. So I'm going to refresh the page, then you will see that we have this new impact. So everything what you see in this payload admin is customizable from this code which is in the payload code. And the other thing which I want to show you from here is that if we go to this endpoints, then these are some of the endpoints for the products. So if we click on the products, you will see that there are some of the endpoints for the products which actually fetch the products. This is the seed. This is a script which we just add the dummy data, so we can just remove this. We don't want that. This is for the customer, and this is for the create payment intent. So whenever we create an intent on the server side with the Stripe integration, then we use this create intent payment. Components, we have only before dashboard and before login, which we have just commented out. We don't want to use them. Then we have gone through the collections. Then the important thing is the block. So if you want to create a content which is not a type of any of this field, you can create that content as a block content. And with the block content, you can have this different ways. You can have the archive block, you can have the call to action, you can have the content, and you can have the media block. So if you want to see them how it looks, so if we go back here, and if we go to the pages, then I'm going to click on home, And in the content section, you will see that we have different blocks have been added here. First one is the content block. So this content block will display the content in the form of a column layouts. So you can add multiple columns. So you will see that we have different columns here, and those column can have their sizes. They can have at full column, half column, 1/3 or 2/3. So now if we want to see them how it looks, let's go to our application, and this is our home page. And in the home page, if we go here, then we see that what the home page looks like is first is the hero impact. So we see this content, Payload e-commerce store. So what we are going to do is we are going to just change this to e-commerce store simply. So I'm going to remove this. I will have the e-commerce store, and I'm going to keep it as it is. I don't want to change this. All right. Then we are going to have a link with two buttons. So the first one will be the products. Label will be shop now. It's a primary button. Second one will be a GitHub link of the payload, view on GitHub, and we have the secondary button. So I'm going to keep it as it is. After that, we are adding a media. So this is the media. So now if we go and see, then we see that I'm just going to publish this changes. All right, now I'm going to refresh it. Then you should be see that we have the e-commerce store and this information. Then we have this media. All right, and after the media, we have all the information of the content. So this is the content. We have different layouts, and the first one is the content block. So if we go here and we see that this is the content block. After the content block, we are having a media block, which is actually having this image. And then we have a call to action. So this is the call to action where you can actually have an action item on your block. So these are different kinds of the block, and those are very powerful when we actually build the application. Now, if we go back to our application, then we have already gone through all the payload stuff. And this is the access, whether you are an admin user, you want to access something, or admin or logged in user, or you are a random user. The next part of this template is the app. So if we go to the app, then this is actually the application which we see it here on the Next.js application. So this is completely built on the Next.js, where you will see all the pages. So if we go to the pages, then if we go to the slug, then this is the main page which fetches the page structure. So this is our home page. If we go scroll down, then you will see that it will fetch the doc, and all the API calls are already done. So we don't need to do anything. We will just have to use them. So you will go, and if we see, we start from the API. So whenever we want to fetch a single document, then we just use this fetch doc. So here you will see that we have the pages, products, and orders, and these all are that fetch the single page, fetch single product, or fetch a single order. So this is the fetch doc, and it is using the GraphQL. So if you are not so familiar with the GraphQL, you don't have to worry. You can also convert this to the REST endpoints. So they are using the GraphQL for the integration, but if you want to use the REST endpoints, you can use it. They have all their REST endpoints. So let me show you on the documentation. So if I go to this Payload CMS, and if we go to the docs and let me search for the REST, then we should be able to see all the REST endpoints. So here you will see that we have the REST endpoints. We can connect to these endpoints, and then we can just convert the GraphQL integration with the REST API. So we are not going to touch anything on this. We will keep it as it is. So we will just take a look on this. So for fetch docs, it's going to give us all the products, all the orders, and all the pages which we want. We have the fetch globals, which is going to fetch the globals. So if we go here and we see the global settings, headers, and footers, so this is going to give us all the settings, headers, and the footers part. So it's going to fetch the footer, it is going to give us the header and the settings. So then we have the get me. So this endpoint is going to keep our token. So whenever we are going to log in, or whenever we need to have any authentication stuff, we're going to use this get me token. Now then we have the blocks. So whenever you select anything on your admin side, so if you select a block as a content block, then this content block will be displayed as this type of a content block here. And this content block, you will see that these are all the components, the front-end components which you see usually. So these are the collection archive. So these are all are the components. If you select any of the archive block on the admin side, you will be having this as on the front-end side. You have the call to action, media block. So in the go to the media, then you can see that we have a media block as full screen. Then it's going to set the media as full screen. If we set it default, it's going to set it as default. If you want to see, then let's go and let's check it out. So let's go to the admin. I'm going to go to the media block. So this is the media block, and here you will see that it is using default. So if we go back here, if we scroll, you see it is a default. Let's convert this to a full screen. So I'm going to select full screen, publish changes. I will go here, and then I'm going to refresh my page, and you will see that we have a full screen. So it's very powerful. I mean, you just need to do something on the UI, and then you will see it on your application. So when you select the full screen, this block is going to have it in the JSX. Then we have different components like add to cart and all the button components. So we are not going to go into the details. So these are all the components which we are using on the application side. We have the CSS. So it's a theming CSS. So we have the app.css, a root, and all this information. Then we have the theme part. All right, we're going to keep it as it is. Then we have the heroes. So whenever you select any of the high impact, low impact, then you will going to have this component on your front end. You have the providers. Then you have all the pages here. So we have all the account page, cart page, checkout page, create page. So we are not going to go into the detail of each of the page because we are not going to make any changes, and mostly we're going to make changes on some of the styling or all those stuff. All right, so now let's start customizing this application. So let's go to the shop, and we're going to add some more products here. So I'm going to click on the dashboard. I'm going to go to the products. I'm going to click on create new product. And the first product which I'm going to create is the Apple iPhone. All right, I'm going to add the layout. I will have the content block. Then here I'm going to have the full. I'm going to simply have this information. I'm not going to add much more information to this. All right, and then what we will do is we are going to have the same here. We're going to have the description. We are going to upload the image. All right, I'm going to click on select. And then I'm just going to select from the media. So I'm going to choose it from date edit. All right, I will have the media, and I'm going to select the Apple iPhone. All right, I will just add the information here. So I'm going to change this to Apple iPhone. I'm going to click on save. All right, so we have this, and we can give the publish date. So let's give the publish date as 27. Then we can also go to the product details, and here we need to connect our product to the Stripe. So if I click here, then you will see that I already have all the products created. But if you want to create a new product, what you will do is you're going to click on this create new product. So here we need to create the product. So I'm going to have this, so I'm just going to take the name from here. All right, I will go here. I will create a new product. I can upload the image. It's optional. So let's do it. I can have the description. I can have the standard pricing, and I can give the price as USD, and I'm going to have the price as $7.99. It will be a one time, and then we can click on save product. And I'm just going to have it as new because we already have this product created. So I'm going to have it saved. All right, so this product is created. Now if we go back here, and here let's do a save draft first. All right, so the draft is saved, and now if we go to the products, and now we can have this product as new. But I have already created the product, so I'm just going to select my existing product. So this is going to have this URL for this product. Now I'm going to have the category as smartphones. So we don't see any category here as a smartphone. So what I will do is I'm going to click here, and I'm going to have the smartphones. All right, I'm going to save it, and now we have this category, and we can now publish the changes. And now if I refresh it, then we should be able to see a new product here. All right, we will just quickly fix this UI. So what we will do is we are going to fix this UI, and here we will see that we have an image as object fit. So let's change this. So I'm going to copy this. All right, I will go here, and I'm going to search for this, and we see that we have this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and I'm going to change this to object fit as contain. All right, I will give the background. So let's have the background to that image as FFF, and then I'm going to have the padding. So let's have the padding as 14 pixel, 0 pixel, and this will make our image looks a little bit nice. So I'm going to copy, and I'm going to copy this to everywhere. So let's have it here. I'm going to change this here. I'm going to change this here. I'm going to change this here, and I'm going to change this here and this one. All right, we have it. Now if we go and if we refresh our page, then we will see that the image looks a little bit nice. So this is how the image looks now. So this way we can create multiple products. So let's create one more product. So I'm going to go here, and here one thing we can do is whenever we create a new product or upload the image for that product, you will see that we have a folder here which is called media. So I'm going to close this, and you will see that we have a media here. So whatever we upload it in this media folder. But now there is a catch that when we deploy this application, we are not going to deploy the media because we are going to upload the media into the S3 bucket. So we have to re-upload all these media into the production application. If I go back here, then let's create one more product. And this time we're going to create a product with the video. So what I will do is I'm going to create a new product as this one. I will have the content. Let's have the content here. I will have the layout. I will keep the layout as full. I'm going to add this here. All right, let's add it here, let's add it here, and then we are going to upload the media. So our media will be this headphones. So I'm going to upload it. I'm going to have it here, save it. All right, then we will go to our products and we are going to connect it with the Stripe product. So I already have created a product, so let's connect it. All right, and now we're going to change the publish date. So let's have the publish date. I'm going to add the slug here, and now we need to have the categories. So we don't have the category for the earphones, so let's have the category for earphones. I'm going to save it, and now I'm going to publish it. All right, so as soon as we publish it, we will be able to see it here. So I'm going to refresh it, and we will be having a new product here. Now if we click on the product, we will also go to the product landing page. So let's click on any of the product, and here you will see that this is the landing page. We can also click on add to cart, and here you will see that it is added in the cart. We can do a checkout, so let's click on the checkout, and we can just add the test data. So let's have the test data. We are going to have the expiration, so I'm going to have the expiration as 24, and let's have the CVC, and I'm going to click on checkout, and we should be able to see that now the order is placed. So you see that thank you for your order, the order is placed. Now we can click on the view order, and we see that this is our order, and we can also click on see all orders, which is going to list down us all the orders. Now the next thing what we want to do is if we go to our home page, let's change this home page a little bit. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to our dashboard, and on this dashboard we are going to go to the pages. And let me show you first that if you want to create a new menu here, how you can do that. So let's create a new page first, and I'm going to have this as a new page. All right, I'm going to create the hero. I'm going to have it as no impact. All right, here in the layout, I'm going to have a content layout, and here I will have a full. I'm going to have this as new page. All right, then for the SEO purpose, we will have this. We can also upload a media on this new page. So let's choose it from the existing one. So the existing one, I'm just going to choose this. I will have it this. I'm going to give the publish date. All right, let's go to hero, and let's give a hero as maybe low impact, and I'm going to have that this is my new page. All right, I'm going to publish the changes. Now as soon as I publish changes, you will not see that we have this, but we have to add it one more place. So we will go to headers, and in the headers, if we go down, then we are going to add it in navigation. We're going to select the option as new page, and let's have a new page. I'm going to save it, and now we will be able to see it on the customer website. So here you will see that we have this new page, and if I click on it, then it will go to the new page, and you will see that this is the new page. So you can create this new navigation page this way. Now let's go to the pages, and we will go to the home. And inside the home, what we want is we don't want all this information. So I'm going to have the no impact. So let's have the no impact. I'm going to publish the changes. Let's go to the content. I'm going to delete this content first. We don't want this. All right, I will just keep the media and call to action, and I'm going to publish the changes. So in the media block, what I will do is upload a video. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to upload this. So I'm going to open it. I will have this as banner. I will save it. And now if I publish this, then we should be able to see it on the home page. So I'm going to have it refresh here. Then you will see that we have this. Now we can make this as a full screen. So let's have a full screen here. And below that, what we can do is we can also add the archive block. So here in the archive block, I'm going to have the smartphones, and then here I'm going to have the smartphones. Then here we will have the collection products, and this will be from the smartphones. I'm going to limit it as 3, and then I'm going to just do a publish changes. Now if we go here, I'm going to refresh my page, then we should be able to see that we have this as a full screen, and then we also have this as a smartphone. So we can make this a little bit nicer. So we are going to select this as 2, and what we want is we want this to be on top, and then we have a call to action. So I'm going to save it again. All right, and now if we refresh it, then we should be able to see it. So in this way you can add multiple products, and then you can create your categories and everything. Now we can also go to the cart, and in the cart also, if you want to add an image, so it's a very simple that if you want to add an image for any page, the first thing you can add it. So if we go to the pages here, and if we go to the cart, then the first thing what we can do is we can either add the image from the hero. We will give it as a low impact, we'll change it to high impact, and we get the media. So for if we change it to the low impact, then we don't have any media. So this way there are different impacts which have been created based on the requirements. So now we have made a lot of changes here, and now what we will do is let's go and push those changes, and let's try to deploy the application. So what I will do is I'm going to go to my code base, and here what I will do is I'm going to commit this. So this will be an initial commit. All right, I'm going to stage them. I will click on commit, and then I will have the sync changes. All right, I'm going to click on OK. So these going to push my changes. So now if we go back here and if we refresh it, then we should be able to see that we have all our changes in the initial commit. Now if we go and check in our cloud, then here you will see that as soon as we commit any changes, it will trigger an automatic deployment. So now this is going to build the application and everything will happen. But before that, what we have to do is we have to make few changes. So what I will do is first let's go and let's run an ESLint here on the local. All right, so I'm going to have the yarn ESLint to check if we have any linting issues. So here we will see that we don't have any lint issues, and we are selecting ESLint from here. We can also build the application on the local so that we will see that we don't have any errors. So I'm going to have the yarn build, and this is going to build my application on the local. So we are going to just wait for the application to build on the local. Alright, so we see that our application on the local is built successfully. So we will not have any errors when we actually make the deployment on the cloud. Alright, so here you will see that we are making the deployment on the cloud and the application is still building. Now we can also do one more thing. We will also go to the settings in the environment variables, and here we see that we don't have the Stripe secret key. So let's add that. So what I will do is I'm going to just copy it from our env, or let's copy it from our Stripe dashboard. So I'm going to copy. All right, I will go here and I'm going to add it here. I will do the update. All right, it's updated, and then we will also copy the publishable key. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go here and let's have this publishable key. All right, I'm going to add it here and I'm going to click on update. So we have updated. Now if we go to the overview, then we will see that it is again building because we have made some changes in our environment variable files. So let's wait for this application to be deployed successfully. Alright, so now our application is deployed and let's go and check. So if I click on it, then you will see that we have a broken image, and we also see that a lot of images are not visible. So we have already discussed that when we deploy the application, we need to upload the media again because we are not uploading the media directly on the S3 bucket. So that's why we need to upload it again. Let's go to the admin dashboard, and in the admin dashboard, I will go to the media, or maybe I will go to the pages first. Then I will go to the home page, and in the home page, we have this media block. So let's upload a new media. So I'm going to select here, then I'm going to have my media file, which is this one. I'm going to open it and I will have it as banner. I'm going to save it. So this is going to upload my media to the S3 bucket, and we need to publish the changes. So I'm going to click on publish. All right, so the changes are published, and then now we will be able to see the media. So this way we can also add the images here. What we can do is let's go to the products. All right, inside the products, I will go here, and then what I will do is I'm going to have upload the new media. I'm going to select the iPhone 11. All right, I'm going to have this here. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to publish the changes. And if we go here and if we refresh this page, then we should be able to see the image here. Now let's test that our Stripe integration is also working or not. So I'm going to click on the add to cart, and then I will go to the view cart. I'm going to click on checkout. All right, then we are going to have the card information. So let's have the card information. I'm going to have 02 25. I will have CVC and I'm going to click on checkout. Okay, so our integration is also working. So whatever we added in our environment files, that is also now picking up. All right, so now if we go to view orders, then we have this orders. Now what I will do is I'm going to log out to my admin portal. So I will log out to the admin portal and I will just go to the customer portal and I will just check the complete flow. First, let's create the account. So I'm going to go and create the account as john@gmail.com. I will have the password. Let's have the confirm password. I'm going to click create account. All right, so our account is created successfully. I'm just going to update the information as John Day and this is going to update it. I will go to the orders, then I should not have any orders. So I'm going to click on view orders and we don't have any orders. So now let's go to the home page and let's do the shopping. So I'm going to click here. Then we will have a checkout and then we will see that we also have the checkout here. So I'm going to click here and we come to the same page. So that means the application is now functional. Now you can add more information. You can just change the logo and you will see that we also get the theme here. So if I click on light, then it will get changed to light theme. So that's all I have about this video about the Payload CMS e-commerce template and how we can deploy it on the Payload cloud. I would highly recommend to give a try because it's going to give you a full-fledged project, whether it's a e-commerce app or it's a blogging website or it's a simple website. You can use Payload CMS everywhere. You can also check out their GitHub link, and this GitHub repo has 12K stars. So a lot of developers are using and exploring Payload CMS for building their applications. So that's all I have in this video. I hope you liked the video. A thumbs up is appreciated. You can also connect with me via Facebook or Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter for latest updates. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. Thank you. Thanks for watching.